what would kind of be like the next, the next things to farm? I'd probably say like definitely more coal. I can make a pickaxe to farm obsidian for the Nether portal. So that's definitely a that's also like an option. Um, I think those two things. Now you might be like, well, ideally what do you need the coal for? But I mean, the reality is you kind of always want coal in terms of like torches as well as like all this copper. I'm gonna have to smelt, or I get to smelt. You know, so just stuff like that. I think like I've got gold gear on. I mean, granted, it's got like both of them have got enchantments on them, so it's not like bad gold gear by any means. It's pretty decent, you know. Yeah. So it is what it is. But as for the extra gear, I'm just gonna place in the inventory for now. And that's pretty much it. So yeah. Hello. I still got that fisher rod too. So that's always nice if I want to fish. But yeah, honestly, that's kind of the main thing. I'd say really just like, you know, charcoal, iron, you know. Gold is nice too. I think gold typically for like golden carrots or like glistering melons, those are more so for like potions. Now, that'll definitely be helpful like later on. Like say for instance, I believe the glistering melons make, I think it's the potions of healing. It's because there's potions of healing and there's also potions of regen, which are also like those are pretty helpful for the most part. So, stuff like that. Absolutely. And then the golden carrots, I forget what kind of enchantments, or not enchantments, but what kind of potions the golden carrots make. But typically, the ones that I find to be the most helpful are the potions of healing or regen. Fire protection is also really goated, especially for, let's say, for when you're in the nether. Like, that's, you know what I mean? That's a really underrated one. Only thing is, of course, you kind of have to, the first rotation is like the main thing. Meaning, like, when I mean the first rotation, I mean the first nether run is the thing where it's like, you've got to be able to duke it out in there the first go around, find the nether fortress, then find the blaze spawner, then contend with the blazes, then get the blaze rods, and then, make it out the nether. And then after that, then you can make the potions. Also, as a nice bonus is magma creams. So it's like the well, you can make blaze powder from the blaze rods. So the blaze powder, I forget, I think is what you add to the slime balls, and then that's how you get magma cream. And then the magma cream, I believe, is what you use to make fire protection potions, something like that. So, but the irony is, once you make the fire protection potions, it's like the nether becomes a lot easier, to say the least. you know, a lot easier. I mean, yeah, there's still like ghast and, you know, wither skeletons, right? Stuff like that. But for the most part, it gets you a couple potions of regen, you know, stuff like that. It'll help out a lot. Man, this is a really good river. Just fishing. Oh, speaking of potions, yeah. Honestly, that's probably how we got so much EXP before too, because you know you can fish and get a decent amount of EXP as well. Oh, good. Thank you, bunny. Yeah, so that's like some more fuel. Some more fuel indeed. But yeah, so that's kind of the vibe when it comes to just like stuff like that. But let's see. So I do have some more planks, so I'm just gonna make like another chest for the actual items, and then I'll bring half of the copper. I'll leave the other half just for like reserves. So it's like 2, 3, 4. There we go. Okay. And then there we go. So that's like 32. So the rest of that I can I would just smelt later. Like it's yeah. Now there's salmon, got some codfish. Now the nautilus shells, I forget what the nautilus shells are for, but those are pretty helpful too. I think that's used for I forget what it is exactly, but I think there's something called a sea temple. I've yet to encounter one, but there's like a whole freaking like mini boss I think that spawns in there. Yeah, so it's definitely different from a desert temple, I'll tell you that much, because the desert temple doesn't have a mini boss that spawns, but the sea temple, I believe from what I've heard, it does have a mini boss. And for those, it's gonna be dang near like having no potions while trying to like contend with a sea temple is just silly. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna need some kind of potions of water breathing or something, I imagine. You know what I mean? So that'll be post nether for sure. It'll definitely be post nether, but it's still pretty cool. So just kind of working on the food, and then half of those, half of those. Alrighty. So then, yeah, there's just like just stuff like that. Yeah, might as well go with the emeralds. Yep. Yeah, I'll leave that in there for now. That'll just be like reserves, stuff like that. And then definitely wheat will definitely be helpful for like making cakes and stuff like that. Because from what it looks like, there's only one farm currently in this village, which isn't a bad thing. But probably definitely would add in some more farms. Alrighty. So there's also that there's a cave up there too that I see. I'll place the emeralds in there. Yeah, so there's a cave over there. That one probably has charcoal in it. It's just, I think for the most part, I'm going to want to make another pickaxe. But this time I'm going to make a copper pickaxe because it just makes more sense to make a copper one. Save some of the iron. But, so, let's see. This is going to be... Yeah, I'm going to make 2 copper pickaxes, and then I'll just bring the rest of the, I'll bring the rest of the iron, or not even the iron, the rest of the copper. And then, got the bow. I'll leave the fishing rod in the chest. Alright, this should do. So, one might ask, well, what's the goal in terms of the, you know, the mining? And I would say, this one, for this rotation, it would be, honestly, more coal. I know it sounds simple. It's like, this guy's just really adamant about the coal. But I promise you, more coal, like, coal would be helpful. Just, like, not even just to use, but just, it's just helpful. You know what I mean? Because it's like, if you want to be able to make food and stuff like that, you know, you're going to want coal. And then also, when you get to smelting and stuff, you can't really smelt anything without any coal. You know, torches, you need coal. So, unless, you know, you want to make charcoal, which I personally prefer not to make because I feel like just, you know, it's not my style unless I need to. I prefer to just farm the coal, and it's a good and you get EXP from it too, you know. So it's one of the things, like coal, lapis, redstone, you do get EXP from, so it's pretty legit. Then after that, after the coal, then you might say, well, what comes after that? Don't you want to like start kind of working on the nether situation? And I mean, I can. I'm not particularly in a rush because it's like, I mean, that's really a between the nether and the enchantment table. I mean, honestly, it's kind of like the same thing for me. Granted, in theory, you could make the enchantment table before you even touch the nether, which is kind of interesting when you think about it, because you could literally go in there with like if you've got the full farm and you've got like max enchantments, you could go in there with like some pretty solid buffs without even having the potions. Most of the time I tend to go in there the other way, which is, you know, its own kind of, I mean, I guess you could kind of say it's a meme, but I'm pretty sure that's how most people do it. It's like you go in there typically without the enchantments, and then you probably get the enchantments later. But yeah, so either one is okay, truthfully. Just not really in a rush, if that makes sense. Yep. Pretty much just enjoying the vibe. And I mean, honestly, you're gonna need lapis for the enchantments as well. Like, you know, so I think the books, it's like you need it's like, I forget how many sugarcane. I think it's 3 sugarcane per page, and then it's 3 pages per book. And then also, you know, the leather.